Movies. We love watching them, right? Well, I know I do. And when it comes
Right
to one
here
of
is
my favorite things in life, you always hope the film you spend 2 hours finding and then watching is good. But in this life, things aren't so simple. Although many great films exist, there's also a plethora of ones that are really, really bad. And as a fun little idea, I decided to choose 5 movies, all regarded as some of the worst movies ever made, and watch them. But not only that, place them in one of 2 categories. So bad it's good, or I'll never watch this again, burn it. Now you're probably wondering, Dylan, there's so many movies, how did you decide to choose? Just calm down, relax. Good old Wikipedia has my back. Wikipedia broke down some of the worst movies in each decade dating back to the 30s. So for this video, I chose one movie from each category, starting in the 80s, working up to the 2020s. I chose one film that intrigued me the most from each category and watched it. So, I'm sorry if I skipped out on a specific decade or a specific movie in said decade that you want me to talk about, but I do plan to do more in this series, so leave a comment down below if you want to see a specific movie in the future. Anyway, this is just my opinion on these movies. Remember that this isn't factual, so if you disagree, politely leave a comment below detailing why you like all of these movies. So, without further ado, I'm sure you've been waiting which movies I've picked. Let's dive into the 5 worst movies I've ever seen. But before that, guys, we're on the road to 20K, and I need to hit it before 2026. I literally need to. I will stop posting if I don't hit it before 2026. Many of you are new to the channel, and that's great. But guys, look at this percentage. Absolutely disgusting. We need to change that. So hit that subscribe button so I can continue putting out high-quality movie-related videos for you all to enjoy. All right, on to the video. Now, the first movie I chose was Howard the Duck because I was super intrigued going into this video to watch this one from the 80s. It is one of the first big-budget Marvel superhero films, which I think is insane. Of all characters, they chose this one, and I just remember seeing a few clips online regarding this movie as being absolutely hysterically bad, and I was really excited to go into this one. Who let this 10 out of 10 banger slip through my fingers for this long? I'm kind of speechless. To be honest, there are only so few movies in my life where the concept and execution leave me quite astounded. I mean, what a way to kick off this video, huh? To give you a few reasons as to why I'm shocked about this movie, let me list 3. 1, this is one of the first live-action big-budget Marvel movies ever. Yeah, I'm not kidding when I said that in the intro to this. 2, Tim Robbins, the guy who starred in one of the greatest movies ever made, Shawshank Redemption, plays a pivotal role in this. And 3, and this is my favorite reason, after creating one of the biggest franchises ever and hot on the tail of the original trilogy success, Star Wars' George Lucas decided Howard the Duck, yes, this movie, should be spearheaded by the production company. What? It's hard to put into words the kind of film I was expecting. Let's just say I was wholeheartedly surprised by what I came across. I think it's really funny how obscure this movie is. I love how the studio could have chose anything more grounded and down to earth, but decided a talking duck with no superpowers is the kind of story worth telling. In the 80s, no less. I feel like in today's day and age, a product like this could work since we have the technology to keep Howard in space as he does these crazy space shenanigans. But within like 5 seconds of this movie, the 80s budget wore off and they immediately dragged his ass to Earth and integrated him with humans. The real funny part is just that. Humans interacting with this duck creature. Now I'll say this out the gate, the movie on a technical level is bad.
How? What?
In a way that deserves its Wikipedia page on it. However, I can't help but feel like this movie is a shitpost in cinema form. I mean, it is absurd. Whatever you think happens, trust me, you'll be shocked from start to finish. Like, nothing in this movie past minute 20 is not entertaining. I was laughing my ass off consistently. After randomly teleporting to Earth, Howard spends an hour of this movie just needlessly wandering around Cleveland, Ohio. Yes, Ohio. Spending a portion of the film being incessantly horny.
Do you think I might find happiness in the animal kingdom, Ducky?
And about halfway through the movie, it decides to become a space horror flick where a demon possesses a guy and gives him electricity powers, where he can evaporate people alive and shoot lasers out of his face. And, Howard has to stop him, along with the Shawshank Redemption guy. And oh yeah, there's an aerial car chase sequence that's shockingly quite fun. I can't really explain to you the absolute glee that this movie gave me. I'm someone that only appreciates bad movies if they keep me entertained, and holy hell. This movie is so stupid, weird, and bombastic that I can't help but nod my head in appreciation. Is it something I'll ever rewatch? Honest to God, maybe, but only if I'm drinking, because that'll make it so much better. Putting this movie in one of the categories I mentioned earlier, it's easily going in so bad it's good. Everyone talks about Batman's nipples in Batman and Robin, but how about I give you this? Duck nipples. Ahead of their time. Now for the 90s, I chose Super Mario Bros. Because one of my close friends is a big Nintendo head, and he told me a little bit about the lore regarding this movie, and two, I really loved playing Mario Kart as a kid, and that's pretty much it. I have no Nintendo lore, so I don't really care too deeply about these characters, but honestly, a movie about Super Mario in the 90s, I can't imagine it's going to be that bad. It's probably going to be pretty fun. Similar to Howard the Duck, there's a certain charm to studios trying to bring these larger-than-life characters to life back when tech literally couldn't, because watching all of the characters I know and love from my little knowledge of Nintendo look like this was quite honestly funny as fuck. Super Mario Bros. Is a real staple piece of its time. A pocket of time when fantasy was given a shot, with lavish set designs, some decent makeup and fashion, and some pretty great special effects, only for technology limiting the real fantastical elements from shining through. Like, Yoshi looking like a dinosaur instead of, well, this lovable guy. But poor character redesigns aside, how did I enjoy this movie as a whole? Well, like Howard, it's one of those shut your brain off and leave it on the counter type of movies. It's comically ridiculous, a ton of fun, and stupid as hell. The story is hilariously comical, being about how the meteorite that killed the dinosaurs opened a parallel universe that contains all of the Nintendo characters, except they look human with awful haircuts. But because of a college student known as Daisy being sent to this parallel universe, the Mario brothers have to get her back and stop King Koopa from merging the dimensions and destroying normal Earth. If I lost you, come back to reality. The biggest compliment I can give this movie is Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo's chemistry as the Mario brothers. They were hilarious and bounced off each other wonderfully. They really are the backbone of the film, and if they didn't work as well as they did, I think the movie would have sucked way more. As I mentioned, the special effects, the set designs, and practical effects look really well made, honestly. There are a few action set pieces in here that had me entertained, and I think it's genuinely funny too. Like, there are a few one-liners that had me cackling, probably in part to both the Mario brothers' thick Italian accents just making every line funnier. However, this movie is quite bad. I mean, the story's pretty flat. I can imagine if I was more of a diehard fan of Nintendo, I probably would have been so upset with this movie when it came out and how it kind of portrays certain characters, but at the same time, I feel like it can get a pass because it is from the 90s. Like, it's such a stupid movie and it tries so hard that I can't really hate on it, Like, they do the best they can with what they had. I enjoyed it for what it was, and that's all that matters to me. So it is going in the it's so bad it's good film slot. Now, going into this video, I knew The Room was going to be on here, and it kinda was the genesis for this type of video. This movie is iconic. I have seen this cult classic kind of hate love for this movie for like a decade, and I needed to dive into the actual product itself. So here we are. Let's just say this was one of the most anticipated viewing experiences on this list, simply because of the history that precedes this film, its cult classic status, and how everyone says it's comically bad. And yeah, they're alright in saying that. This movie is absolutely bonkers, and it's kind of insane how it was made at all. Now, before watching this masterpiece, because let me tell you too straight, it is a masterpiece, I had seen The Disaster Artist, a movie about the creation of this film, with James Franco starring in it, and that movie is actually very, very good. I highly recommend it, because it gives a lot of shocking pre-production light to the film I'm talking about, and it's also pretty funny. Now, The Room 2003 is a work of art in a sense that so much of it is bad that it's become its own category of film in itself. Endless ADR is used in scenes where I'm confused as to why it's there. Acting so bad you'd question how anyone sat through a premiere of such a thing, editing that is misplaced and irrational, and pacing that is stretched to a feature-length film when it could have been like a 30-minute short. Things happen in this movie. It is a movie of all time created by human beings with human beings in it, with 5 sex scenes. 5 out of 5 stars. There's no real stakes, besides, you know, the end. Terrible characters who unfortunately have to suffer with a really poor script. It's just tremendous how on a technical level this movie shouldn't work, but when all of these horrid pieces are really put together, you see how truly masterful this art is. It's a classic, a genuine piece of early 2000s cinema. Should be placed right alongside the Mona Lisa in the Louvre. I can't believe I actually sat through this whole thing. It's hilarious. I'm a little delirious. The whole story revolves around a cheating scandal with a best friend and Tommy Wiseau's wife. That's it. So for an hour and 40 minutes, it's nonsense some crackheads in a writer's room came up with and filmed on screen. I can't stress this enough. This is the kind of film that is absolutely preposterous, but it's so good. This is what film students should have to analyze because it's a real wonder of the world how this got made and released to a mass audience. This movie is so bad, it is a 10 out of 10. To those of you watching right now, if you have dreams, chase them, because if Tommy Wiseau can make a movie like this, well, you can do anything you set your mind to. Now, The Last Airbender is one of the movies on this list that I looked forward to the least, because I have seen this movie before, but because I was doing this video, I felt like I needed to include it because it is easily one of the worst movies of the 2010s, but of all time. And I wanted to see if that movie held up to that title. And let's just say it absolutely does. Disrespectfully, I'm gonna crash out on this movie because what the I've seen this movie, unfortunately, 3 times in my life, now making it 4. And having to revisit this in almost 5 years felt like digging up secrets in your past that your brain kept tucked away for a reason. This movie sucks, man. Look at me. One of my favorite shows of all time is the original animated series. It is in my top 5 shows ever created. I love that show to death. So having to sit through and analyze a movie so hell-bent on disrespecting its source material, well, I mean, it's just straight torture. It's almost comical how bad this movie is. From the writing, to the story, to the acting, to the special effects, to the editing, this is easily the worst movie I think I've ever seen. It's crazy because this movie makes the 3 movies above this look like Oscar winners. Now, I should specify why I think this, because if you're one of the few people who haven't seen this, God bless you, then you deserve to know why it's bad. First off, the movie tries to condense 20 episodes worth of storytelling into a 90-minute movie, which backfires immediately. Every scene rushes through to the next, yet it is still paced extremely awkwardly. Like you'll enter a new scene, but it'll feel like you're missing 15 minutes of backstory to how you got here, yet it's right after the scene previous. And it's like that for about an hour. Yeah, they speed through 17 episodes in 60 minutes and then forcefully make the last 3 episodes of the season the last 30 minutes of the movie. There's no stakes, there's no tension, and that's in part to the lack of characterization and horrific acting and directing here. How am I supposed to care for Aang's backstory and the homicide of his people if this is how he acts?
It's time for you to stop doing this!
And the tragedy of his backstory is only told in 2 minutes? Why does Zuko's backstory get told to us through a random little boy in a village? And there's so much exposition dumping in here that's just not done well at all. So much of the story is rushed because of incessant narration to catch you up to speed. I swear, I don't know what this movie was trying to accomplish, because every 5 seconds, Katara starts speaking and narrating the emotions or actions that should be shown on screen. And don't even get me started with the castings here, because what in the is this, dude? Why are the main water tribe people white? Why are the fire tribe Indians? Why are all the prominent Asian characters in the background? And who cast this kid as Aang? How was this signed off? Like, who thought this was a good idea? And then there's the blatant mispronunciations of every name possible. Aang is Ong.
My name is Ong.
Sokka is Soka. Agni Kai is said Agni Ki. Iroh is Iro. Like, this has gotta be rage bait, right? Like, it's insane. My ears were just getting so annoyed every time this movie continued saying it incorrectly. And why does every action sequence feel way longer than it needs to be? Like, every time someone bends, it doesn't feel fluid at all. Like, in the show, all of the elements bend fluidly with the body movements of the bender doing said movement. Like, it's a very natural thing for each element, and it's all specified based off of their technique. But in this movie, every time someone bends, it feels like I need to wait about 10 seconds so they can finish their little dance moves before anything happens, before they're supposed to bend. It's wild. It's like they're hitting a pose before anything moves. Of course, Exhibit A, and the most iconic version of this, This is insane. It truly baffles me how this series was turned into a movie at all. It just doesn't work for its pacing. So much goes wrong here. I genuinely believe adapting this show in live action is impossible. And yes, I think the same about the Netflix show. I think the Netflix show is not good either. I have no idea what M. Night was thinking making this movie. It's atrocious. This is a movie that deserves to be forgotten and burned. I don't find this movie funny at all. Maybe it's because I care too deeply about the original show that seeing this makes me just angry, but I never want to see this again because it makes me mad. There's no redeeming qualities to this whatsoever. Trash.
Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh.
Now for the 2020s, I could have chose a multitude of movies. Madam Web is one of those that, funny enough, is on the Wikipedia page, but I already did a video on it. I did a review on all of the Sony spin-off Spider-Man villain films last year, and if you're interested in seeing my review on the film, you should go check it out. It's really funny. The video is very good. So I wanted to do something different for this video, and I chose Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now this was a straight curiosity pick. I remember seeing some flack for this movie when it came out due to the whole public domain, and immediately Pooh just becomes a slasher villain, so I had to see if this movie is actually any good, because that concept seems very interesting. This movie is another example of everything wrong with the film industry. I genuinely found myself dissociating as this film continued. How did I end up here? What did I do wrong in my life to see this right after watching the worst movie I've ever seen in my life? Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is terrible. I didn't like it, and it is precisely why some things in the public domain should just not be made, man. Why did we have to turn the lovable hugging honey bear into a Halloween-type slasher? What fun is that? Maybe in short film form it would be funny, but in an 80-minute movie? After like the first kill, this whole shtick becomes stale and redundant. Also, the fact that it's clearly just a man in a demented Pooh Bear head that's doing all of the killing just ruins it too. Maybe it would have been funnier if the bear literally looked like the one from the Christopher Robin movie killing people. Then I would have thought it was pretty funny because he looks like a cute hugging bear, but as I mentioned, after the novelty of Pooh Bear killing someone wears off and him torturing Christopher Robin becomes more so filler in this 80-minute movie, you realize there's nothing special about it. It's just a generic slasher film. The kills aren't even that crazy. Now I will say, maybe it's just because I came off the Terrifier movies, and those films glorify the hell off of gore, so. But I don't know, there was nothing that stuck with me after watching this movie. It's like my eyes glazed over for 80 minutes, and now I'm typing this script as we speak. The characters are boring, none of them have personality, it's simply a film based on this lovable character killing people that make it unique. It's one of the most boring slashers I've seen. The only time I found this movie funny was when I turned it on 2x speed so the film would end quicker. The movie is thankfully only 80 minutes, but still. The plot and unique novelty that this movie was clearly greenlit for does not work for that length. It's a trash can of a movie. Burn it alongside The Last Airbender. These two deserve each other. Pooh crying tears of honey is absolutely hysterical though, I will say that. So, I made it through some of the worst movies ever made. I feel like I need to take a shower after the last two. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, if you love these movies, that's great. Tell me why you do in the comments below. As you can see, the first three movies set an unprecedented high, as I actually had a ton of fun watching them, only to succumb to the hellscape that is The Last Airbender and Blood and Honey followed behind it. I hope I never have to lay my eyes on those films ever again. Thankfully, most of these movies were just so bad it's good. But who knows, maybe next time I do this, it'll lean one-sided the other way, which I hope isn't the case, because I actually want to enjoy doing these going further. But like I mentioned before, if you have movies you want to see me react to for a part 2 of this series, let me know in the comments below, because it sounds like fun. But what do you think of these placements? Do you guys agree? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. Guys, like I said, we're on the road to 20K, so get to subscribing so you can join the family before 2026. And as always, y'all, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.